We are taught throughout our entire life. So if you give me 1 second, I have my notes. So Alhamdulillah, it's such a simple, such a beautiful, yet such a powerful word that we truly do have. We are taught to say it from a very young age, since we're beginning to learn Arabic and learn about our deen. Fair? We are taught it means to praise, all praise to Allah and to thank Allah. We are taught to say it during both the good and the bad times. We are taught to say it after sneezing, and we are taught to be grateful about it when we all do say it. So my brothers, I ask you simply this. We have a tendency now of saying Alhamdulillah so easily and without the sincerity, without being so sincere about saying Alhamdulillah, about truly giving thanks to Allah. We have a tendency of only saying it, and I'm speaking from the youth. I can't speak on anybody else, but I just want to take this moment so we all take a time just to reflect on how sincere we are about it. Alhamdulillah is giving thanks to Allah, even in the best of times and in the worst of times, from at your lowest to your best. And I would just like to ask, and just for you to be able to reflect on yourselves and find out what that sincerity is. Alhamdulillah is the perfect phrase for expressing our sincerity. It means to constantly remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is a phrase which can be used anywhere, at any time, in any situation. You wake up, Alhamdulillah. You are about to start eating, Alhamdulillah. You're alive and well, Alhamdulillah. There are so many blessings you could spend your entire life saying Alhamdulillah, and you still wouldn't be able to say Alhamdulillah enough time for all the blessings you have. You should be able to say Alhamdulillah for being able to say Alhamdulillah, for just every breath that you have, for every. That's an ability, that's a gift from Allah. That's a blessing from Allah for you to continue to be able to say Alhamdulillah. It is the sincerity and true gratitude that's important though, because you have to realize you can't always remember to say it every time, but when you do say it, even at your lowest moments, be sincere about it. When you are struggling truly, you need to mean it truly from the heart. And people ask, oh, how do you know if you're truly sincere and everything? But by you just questioning yourself if you're sincere, shows that bit of sincerity in you, because you're able to second back and just reflect and be like, do I truly mean it? That should show sincerity in it, because you're able to question yourself and you're able to think about it. But I always would like just to emphasize it. Alhamdulillah is a way of changing your character. It's a life philosophy, and it allows you to be greater for what you have, whether it's good or bad. If it's good, Alhamdulillah. If it's bad, realize there are a million other worse things that could have happened to you, and say Alhamdulillah. And consider the blessings that you do have, even when it seems so minimalistic. We have a tendency of always saying, basically, it's like, why me, why me, why me? Where it's like, why is he rich? Why am I poor? Why does he have this blessing? View it as this. Allah gives everybody a certain challenge, a certain test that we all know we can pass. And he truly believes us that we can truly pass it. In the sense, and the beauty of it is like, say you see a man who's rich. Alhamdulillah, good for him. And you praise him, you say, MashaAllah, you give credit where it belongs, not to him, but to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But you have to realize that man has his own test, where he will be judged separately. When he passes on the day of judgment, his question will be, what did you do with that money? How did you view it? And I view it in the sense where it's like, what gives a man true character, in a sense, not when you're at your lowest and you're able to hope for the best and remember the best, but when you're at your highest, when you're at your wealthiest, where you have every excuse and every temptation to do wrong and not be held accountable by anybody, any of your peers, except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but you still don't do wrong. You still carry yourself with humbleness. That's what I feel being truly humble is. And you being able to say Alhamdulillah allows you to recognize that, and allows you even at your worst. For example, I have a friend, we play soccer together and everything, and he was about to make the academy team. He was so close. I think he was last day of tryouts. He got cut. They told him you were too small. He refused to say Alhamdulillah. Like he said it, but it's like Alhamdulillah. Like he just says it just to say it. We lose that sincerity of it. The beauty of Alhamdulillah, it allows you to reflect, because him not fully being sincere, and I can't tell you if he was sincere or not, but just the way how it comes off, and we should all consider it. Basically just you saying it allows you to just step back, and it's a sense of contentment where it's like, I've made it this far, I've accomplished so much in my life, I'm at where I'm at, and inshallah the right mentality is let me progress, but alhamdulillah for what has already been given to me. Allah has a certain plan for everybody, and we're all giving So that's my first point. I just want us to, overall, it's just a word that we need to reflect on our sincerity towards it. It's a beautiful word and it's a powerful word and it's so easy to be said. And I feel like that should be taught to our youth, that should be taught to our children, to our younger brothers, to our older brothers, anybody and everybody. It's simply just giving thanks to Allah, but there's more to it where it allows you to reflect. It allows you to realize how lucky you truly are, how blessed you truly are, would be a better word. My second point that I would like to speak on would be basically, we have a tendency of saying, do as I say, not as I do. That's a very big problem, I feel like. Now, I fall under that. Parents to their children, children to their younger brothers and their younger siblings. In a sense, just for example with my brother, where it's do this, but then I go and do the opposite. We shouldn't be doing that. We should hold ourselves accountable as well. And that allows to get the message. Do as I act. Where it's so easy for one to just, oh, do right, but then you're going and you're doing the wrong. Where you're being hypocritical. You're going against your own word, and you're going against the teachings of what you're trying to teach others. And I feel like that's something we should carry ourselves when we're teaching our children, when we're teaching the young. When we tell them, go make sure you pray on time, make sure that you're doing this. Also, make sure that you're holding yourself accountable when you're doing it. Don't necessarily just say, oh, I'm too old. It's too late. My faith is already written. No, Allah is the most forgiving and He's the most understanding. So you should be able to, it doesn't matter at what point it hits you, you'll always get a realization. Hold yourself accountable at the same time you hold the youth accountable. And the youth will hold them. And it happens to everybody. It happens with me. It's so easy for me just to speak to my brother and it's like, did you pray on time? And it's so easy for me to yell, but it's like, wait, did I pray on time? Did I make dua? Did I make zakat? Like, it's simply that. And it becomes a sense of drive-through deen. When we're doing the bare minimum, but we're expecting the reward of Jannah. We're just meeting the requirements. We're just meeting it and we're expecting so much. That shouldn't be the case. Wouldn't doing the bare minimum suffice? It doesn't make sense. Where it's, you just get it right. Congrats, you just passed the test. Oh, does that mean you get the highest level? Meet the requirements and surpass it. Wake up, pray for Fajr. What, you're waking up at 6 o'clock? Wake up your siblings. Even if they refuse the first time, the second time, the third time. They'll keep seeing it. They'll see that your dedication to it and they'll realize there's something greater to it. Again, don't do the saying of do as I say, not as I do, but do as I do. That's the biggest thing you can follow through with this. Take upon my actions and make sure your actions are suffice and they're right and they're just. And that's something I just like to speak on. So, inshallah, Ya Rabbi, Allah grants us the blessings. Thank you for allowing me to speak to you guys. And again, I just want you guys to really remember the sincerity when you're saying Alhamdulillah. It's a very powerful word, and it's a word that we take nowadays way too granted. Teach that to your youth and teach it to yourself. Even when you're at your lowest, you got fired from your job. Alhamdulillah. There could have been such more worse that has happened to you. You could be in an even lower position. Yes, it's been taken away from you, but Allah will only take it away from you, only to give you something better in its place. Even if you don't see it right away, it will happen in the long run. And that's the beauty of it. So that's why you say Alhamdulillah, you sit back and you realize that. You give thanks to Allah, because there's so much that we don't understand that He has set for us. So the best is you have faith in Him, you do your requirements, you follow through, and you reflect. Alhamdulillah is a sense of reflection and a sense of giving thanks. What does Alhamdu mean? Praise and thanks and appreciation. Like, take it for example, you could see a mountain, you're appreciative of it, you're not thankful of it. It's like, oh, what is this mountain? How does it thank you? But it allows you, the beauty of that word is it mixes just to appreciate something, just to appreciate the beauty of it, and to be thankful of it. It's such a powerful word, yet it's so easy to be said. But that's the problem. It's so easy to be said. Are we sincere with it? Do we say it just to say it? Do we say it just so others are not honest? Or do we say it because we truly are being thankful to Allah in the position that we're on, even if we're at our lowest? And that's something we truly have to be reflective of. Do we really mean it when we say it? And you can answer yourself and you can say yes. But always question yourself. Always redo your intentions. Always revisit your intentions and always reflect. Alhamdulillah, Ya Rabbi, inshallah, Ya Rabbi, we are all blessed, and Ya Rabbi, our families are all blessed, and inshallah, khair for everyone. Thank you for listening to me. My name is Hamza.
Thank you.